We bet on every single constituency. We bet on the number of actual seats each of the parties will get. But without doubt, the biggest, not surprisingly, is actually who's going to win. And that's the betting behind me. We've had things like, Boris Johnson to lose his seat as well as Jeremy Corbyn losing his, and that price is a double. It tends to be that type of bet. But funnily enough, of the sort of most fun bets, I suppose, if you want to call it that, it's all been about snow, because we always bet on snow on Christmas Day, but we're also betting this year on snow falling on number 10 during the election day. And that's been quite busy. It's now 8-1. Most people place their bet in the same way they vote personally. So they sit around, they talk to their friends and things saying, how are you going to vote? And if everybody seems to be suggesting that they're going to vote Conservative, for example, then they perhaps would have a bet. But there will be a bit of hedging out there. So, it might affect someone's business significantly if Labour win rather than the Conservative Party. So it could be worthwhile to put a small amount of money on Labour to hedge, in effect, the result if they go on and win. So the betting would tell you that it will be a Conservative majority. We've seen absolutely loads and loads and loads of money for a Conservative majority. But weirdly, in terms of the number of bets placed, it's almost the same as the Labour majority. Now, previously, we've lost a couple of big events. So Brexit, we were convinced that the country would decide to stay. It didn't. So we had to take into account a lot more the number of bets as well as the amount of money. And so, in all honesty, it looks highly likely to be a Conservative majority, but I don't think it's as cut and dried as the betting currently suggests. So that the order it goes in at the moment is Conservative majority, hung Parliament, and then a Labour majority. I mean, certainly Labour need to win a lot of seats back should they get their majority. So it does look likely. And then if you want to, there's other bets on what the coalition government would eventually be should it be put together. So I think there's one of Corbyn, so E.G. Labour, and the SNP joining together to form a government. And I think that's 16-1 at the moment. What we've got is two very strange leaders comparatively. I mean, Boris Johnson can say something that's so awful and so stupid, he could change the election in one go. And it's the same with Corbyn. I mean, it seems that both of them, neither of them are grabbing the whole election by their hands. They're both, if anything, making mistakes rather than the other way around. And certainly over the weekend, some of the polls suggested that Labour are much closer. And the price a week ago was 25-1 for Labour. It's now 16-1.